I chose number 26 out of People Speak, Poverty in Our Time. Ronald Reagan said, "A government can't control the economy without controlling people." And they know when a government sets out to do that, it must use force and coercion to achieve its purpose. We should measure welfare success by how many people leave welfare, not by how many people are added. Ronald Reagan. In regards to poverty, the Reagan election provided a political wedge for anti-welfare pedantry about the values and behavior of poor persons, particularly unmarried mothers and non-custodial fathers who failed to pay child support. Anti-welfare scholars such as Murray and Mead argued respectively that public assistance for able-bodied non-working persons was moral hazard, encouraging sloth and illegitimacy, and that to the extent ADFC was to be retained, it should have stronger work requirements, promoting the idea of work ethic state. Mickey Cross proposed that all single mothers ought to work all the time to provide for their families. Ronald Reagan recognized that the expansion of the welfare state was the greatest threat to federalism, and the fighting it was a driving force throughout his political career. In the testimony of Governor Ronald Reagan to the U.S. Senate Finance Committee, February 1st, 1972, Ronald Reagan stated, "I consider the welfare program to be the gravest domestic issue our nation faces. I believe that, 1. States are better equipped than the federal government to administer effective welfare reforms if they are given broad authority to utilize administrative and policy discretion. 2. A system of guaranteed income, whatever it may be called, would not be an effective reform of welfare, but would tend to create an even greater human problem. 3. A limit should be set on the gross income a family can receive and still remain eligible for welfare benefits. 4. For all who are employable, a requirement be adopted that work in the community be done as a condition of eligibility for welfare benefits without additional compensation. 5. The greatest single problem in welfare today is the breakdown of the family responsibility. Strong provision should be made to ensure maximum support from responsible absent parents. 6. A simplified system of pension should be established for the needy, aged, blind, and totally and permanently disabled. The administration of Ronald Reagan began an attack on welfare, on aid to single mothers, on food stamps, on health care for the poor. The attack would accumulate during the Clinton administration with the ending of federal guarantees to women with dependent children. In the early Reagan years, a mother wrote to a local newspaper responding to the claim the government was not needed, that private enterprise, the so-called free market, would take care of poverty. I'll now read that letter. I am on aid to families with dependent children, AFDC, and both my children are in school. I have graduated from college with distinction, 128th in a class of over 1,000, with a BA in English and sociology. I have experience in library work, childcare, social work, and counseling. I have applied for jobs paying as little as $8,000 a year. I worked part-time in a library for $3.50 an hour. Welfare reduces my allotment to compensate. It appears that we have employment offices that can't employ, governments that can't govern, and economic systems that can't produce jobs for people ready to work. Last week I sold my bed to pay for my car insurance, which, in the absence of mass transportation, I need to go job hunting. I sleep on a piece of rubber foam that somebody gave me. So this is the great dream my parents came to this country for? Work hard, get a good education, follow the rules, and you'll be rich. I don't want to be rich. I just want to be able to feed my children and live with some semblance of dignity. Years after Reagan left office, in 1996, the block grant concept was finally enacted into federal law. For the first time in history, a Great Society program, Aid to Families with Dependent Children, AFDC, was repealed. It was replaced with the Temporary Assistance to Needy Families, TANF, program. Under TANF, the federal welfare cash assistance is now provided in the form of finite block grants to fund state programs based on mandatory work requirements for able-bodied welfare recipients. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks.